Hey, I'm Bradley Williams. I've been playing for Innova Discs for 8 years. My bag's changed a lot over the years, but this is my 2024 bag. Let's get into it. All right, so we're gonna start off with the putter grouping. I have 7 putters total. 5 of them are Fireflies. They're all in the Nexus plastic. I always keep a set the same color for putting to distinguish them. So I've got some fresh Nexus Fireflies. They're a little concave and sticky. This is what I'm putting with currently. And then we've got 3 Fireflies. These are all orange, coincidentally, which is nice. And they're just in 3 different levels of stability. I have the star one for the maximum amount of fade. Then I've got 2 Nexus here. These are just one's neutral and one's not. One's understable. So we got 2 of those. That covers most of the upshots I'll be doing out there on the course. And then I've got 2 utility putters. I've got the Pig here. This is in some sort of Nexus, Blizzard, Halo, overstable forehand disc mainly. It's always good to have a forehand disc that doesn't go too far. Next and last, we have the XT0. This one's 168 grams, and this is just for when it's almost in putting range, but you can't really get a putt. You want to do like a nose-up throw. So it's my little chance to try to get a birdie when I'm out of position, a little throw-in chance. It's always kind of fun to have a throw-and-catch putter that you can goof around sometimes and make shots with. It's really cool. So the most recent awesome place that disc golf has brought me to that's on a disc golf course was the Trondheim region in Norway. We were there during the summer, and it's this kind of like area that's around this vast lake. You travel around the lake in between like mountain ranges, and then you go through this valley that just the way that it looks, the rock face and the grade that it is, and the way the light bounces off the stone, it looks like fake. It looks like Norway crafted it just so they could drive tourist industry up. It almost doesn't look real. I think they probably have a factory where they make rocks. That's my theory. But if you continue on in the disbelief, you can take this winding road to the top where you have this like perfect clear stream that just pours out of the mountain and cascades down it. And you can just like walk in it, take pictures, hang out. There's a little like rest area kind of like place, and that is got to be one of the most interesting places that disc golf's brought me to. Yeah, I'm a big fan of mid-ranges personally. There's been times in my career where I've bagged, up to 7 mids, but that was sort of yesteryear when the courses were a bit shorter. Now that the courses are longer, the bag's mostly full of drivers, but since we're on mids, my favorite all-time mid is the Mako. I've got it in 2 different types of plastic. This one's like a metal flake glow plastic. This one I've had for a while. It's gone from being stable to now understable. And then Halo Makos. This is a Halo Mako 3. This is max weight. Sometimes these things are very stable. They almost fly like rocks without a bead. And they don't have like a ton of hard fade, but they do fly straight, which is really good. And then this is a Champion Rock X3. This is for short sidearms or long turnover, like flex shots. And it's pretty good to have something that can go into the wind in case you get a surprisingly windy day out there. This one's, we found this at the factory store, Calvin and I, and we took like pretty much the whole box of them, I think, between the 2 of us. So that was pretty fun. So usually I like to have my computer with me when we tour. And whenever like we have Wi-Fi or something and I have some free time, I like to play games. It's one way that I connect with friends who from out of state. You don't see them that much because the tour occupies a good part of the year. So playing video games is like a cool way to connect. It's also how I connect with my brother. He's a video game player. So if I'm just chilling and I have nothing else productive to do, I will definitely be playing a computer game on my laptop. All right, here we are. This is like the middle of the bag. This is the fairway distance class. This is something you can use for the in-between distances. I usually just rely on the T-Bird mold, either just regular T-Bird or T-Bird 3 sometimes. And these vary depending on, if I see something cool or I lose one. So we've got this is like a champion T-bird. It's got a cool die on it. This one's more overstable to neutral. Then we've got all the way the other end of the spectrum. We have a very flat, soft 171 T-bird 3 in star plastic. This is pretty straight, brand new, but then it gets understable quickly. It's always fun to have like a really touchy, easy to flip T-bird in the bag. Kind of like, it flies like a leopard, or a stable leopard, I would say. Then this is kind of a cool trick actually with T-birds. You can go down in weight quite a bit. So you can, this one's 167 grams. I've seen 165, 164 brand new metal flake T-birds. And because of the light weight, it's easier to get the disc going out of your hand, but it also has the stability of a T-bird somewhat. So it makes it an interesting choice out there to have like a lightweight T-bird. If you haven't tried to go lightweight on T-birds, even if you're a power thrower, you should try it. It's kind of fun. And then last, we have like the overstable class. These are Dracos. Sometimes I rock like Champion Firebirds when I can find good sets. In this situation, I couldn't find any good ones. So Calvin loaned me, or I guess he just gave me these Dracos. So these are from Calvin. We appreciate having some overstable chip discs in my bag. And these have been used for all kind of shots. They're really fun. I've had so many like really cool memories actually. And I mean, one of the coolest memories and that I just recently thought about, so I'll just share it now, because sometimes like memories come and go and you kind of remember them for what they are. So I was playing, and this isn't like a spectacular Disc Golf Pro Tour event or anything. I was playing like a doubles round before, like an A tier with a friend of mine, and we had gotten to like a new temporary hole that was like 400 and like a little over 400 feet, and it had like an obscure wide shot that you had to take to avoid most of the trees. So you had to throw like a very big hyzer, and we were kind of like guessing what disc we should throw, and it was like my turn, so I threw it first. And it looked pretty good, and then the disc just went dead center into the chains, like for ace, and then it cut through. So like everyone was like, "Oh, dude, I cannot," because like anytime you ace over well over 400 feet, it seems like, wow, that's insane. So everyone, everyone on my card and the competitors everyone was just like, "What? Like, cannot believe you just aced it," and then it spits out, and we're all just like, "No!" And everyone's like kind of just shuffling around, like expressing whatever they're feeling. And then now the card's trying to settle back down because my teammate saw us to throw, and he goes like, "So what should I throw?" It's like, "Should I throw this boss?" And I was like, "Dude, just copy the same line I just threw. Like, just, you saw it, just throw the same shot." And he threw it, and it was almost identical looking, and we were like, "No way, it looks the same." And then it went around the tree, and then it crashed into the chains, and he stuck the ace, and it was like, what? Like it was like unbelievable because of the distance. Like if we were playing 200-foot hole or 180-foot hole, and two people threw putters back to back, and you aced or chained out both, it's like, okay, yeah, I get that. That's still pretty cool. But the fact that it was like well over 400 feet, and you had to throw this like epic wide shot, it was just like, whoa, dude, it's so crazy. And we ended up winning the doubles match because of that stroke. Actually, it was like even better. It was like that ace was very impactful. So that was a really cool one. Currently, I only have 2 wraiths. It kind of makes me sad. I wish there was more room in my bag to have more, but it's, it gets heavy carrying all those discs. Sometimes you don't want to. So I have an understable Halo wraith, and I have an overstable one. This one's wearing in. I've had it for like 2 seasons already, but it's still stable. I'm hoping that it lasts for a long time because I don't have a direct backup for it. This is a Garrett Girthy run, and this one, you probably know this is very overstable for the Wraith, and then this one is more neutral to understable. Okay, so I have 3 destroyers in my bag. They're in the classic 3 different stability class. We got the most overstable one. We got a 2-line AJ. This is like a relic from the past. This one's doesn't see much action, but when it's very windy, I'll use it for to throw over some water or something, or some OB. This one's always nice to have in your bag. Then I've got like my main primary destroyer. This is a 172 Calvin. This is probably like a season or 2 ago. And this one gets most of the work on the course for me. And then I've got a Halo destroyer here. This one's got some interesting blizzard type stuff in the rim. So it's not the most overstable, but it's kind of like almost like a flip up destroyer if it's windy. And then when it's calm, it's more of just a straight to stable destroyer. So it's kind of fun to have this one. I use this for sidearms and distance shots. Like if I go to a course and I see a disc like in the woods that has no name on it and it looks cool, like I might put it in my bag. Like I don't know. If someone's in the parking lot that has a disc and they're like, Brad, have you tried this disc? Like I might put it right in my bag and just try it on the first hole of the tournament, right? That's kind of how reckless I am out there. We're still in the driver class, but this is sort of like my hybrid utility driver section. We have a prototype racer. This one is only for hyzer flips or get out of jail sidearms. It's a 12-speed disc, but it's easy to throw. That's how I would describe it. So I've been using it for just niche situations. And then I've got 2 road runners. This one I just bought yesterday from the local Nashville disc golf store, and I used it to whoop up on Calvin in our road runner only challenge because he thinks it's a TL. Then I've got this super lightweight Star Roadrunner, and this is like your get out of jail roller disc. It's like basically a paper plate, but in disc form. And then this is like a slab. It's like a knockoff Max. It's sort of like a understable Max. It's more like a 11-time Firebird, but faster. I got this at a budget battle with Jeremy Colling, and he was like, "Oh, my slab's in there," and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll take that." So here I am. I've got the slab. Sometimes I use it actually, which is funny because I would never expect to have this disc, but now I do. And that actually is my entire bag. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna take a look at like the utility items that I keep always in my bag for tournament play. It's sort of the staples of, playing disc golf as a primary hobby or even a job at this point. So the first thing is a rangefinder. These aren't necessarily used all the time, but sometimes, with the terrain, baskets can look closer than they are. And having just a rangefinder tells you, oh, well, it's actually 390 feet, not 250. It's kind of cool to have. So a rangefinder is definitely one. Pretty much everyone on tour is like covering themselves in chalk before they putt, especially the ones who win a lot. So I'm just hopping on the bandwagon at the moment. I've got a chalk bag. And sometimes for a pick-me-up, I just cover my whole body in chalk. You always need a mini marker. This one says Boom on it, and it's flexible. I usually go for things that are soft so I don't hurt myself. So this one's nice and squishy. And I got this playing GK Pro Skins, so that was kind of fun. I always keep a decent pair of fingernail clippers, like sharp. I don't want like dull ones because they might bend your nail and like that would suck. So these are pretty good. Actually, I would recommend getting these. These are probably one of the most important things to have in my bags to clip those fingernails. And then I've got Sharpies for when fans forget to bring their Sharpie. And I'm like, don't worry, I've got one for you. And they're like, oh, you think of everything, Bradley. You're the best. And I'm like, here's a Sharpie. I got it right here. And other than that, a towel of some sort goes a long way out there, plus hydration. So some kind of water bottle. That's about it though. I've been playing for a long time. I've been on the road now for the past 3 seasons full time. And one of the ways that I get support from you guys is, comments and messages on my socials. Like I have YouTube and Instagram that I'm somewhat active in. Every time you guys meet me after the rounds for autographs and say, hey, Brad, can you sign this disc? It's kind of special to play around a disc golf and then be meet and grit. Just showing appreciation. It feels nice. Also with Innova, we've been doing Tour Series discs for a long time, and it's kind of an opportunity for players to pick unique plastics or molds that we think the fans might like. So that's always really cool to work on the art and, just offer discs that are a little bit different, a little bit more unique for people to pick up, because part of playing disc golf is to have cool discs in your bag. Like a few discs being sold every week or every month. It's like a trickle income, and it helps with all kind of stuff like fuel and food, and it just kind of helps the tour go along. And I think a lot of players rely on that sort of support to just make certain ends meet, or just make disc golf as a more viable option. I've been playing for Innova for 8 years, and I'd like to thank them for their support and their belief. We've really grown as a team, and it's been pretty cool to be a part of the Innova story this far. Look forward to more seasons to come.